Well, De'Aaron Fox did not play tonight.
He
Again,
didn't.
second straight game he has missed. Terrence Davis ended up returning after missing the last few games. Keegan Murray was on the injury report headed into the game. He was questionable with some thumb soreness. He had that wrapped up a bit, but he did play tonight. It just, from the start, it was bad. Mike Brown had to call one of those early timeouts, 11-13 into the game, or not 11-13 on the clock in the first quarter. He calls a timeout, defensive breakdown, and usually the Kings respond pretty well after that, but man, Randall killed him tonight. Julius Randle killed him, and it was one of those things where he is the type of guy that, man, he could just get so red hot. I didn't have a problem with some of the threes he was taking when he's like off balance. It was contested,
Sure.
but some of it was just him imposing his will on the team.
That's exactly it. And you saw what I thought was great. The Kings tried making their adjustments early on in that second half, throwing the double on him, but he still did a fantastic job with his timing and understanding what guy was cutting, what guy was open, just breaking it down a little bit too easy. And what's wild about this, I wouldn't be able to say this about the Kings defense for years now, is that they're better than that,
They had so many breakdowns tonight defensively, but honestly, the offense was just so bad. It was so bad. And partly, I think one issue they're having without Fox, and I saw it last game, there's a couple times for as well as Davion played last game defensively, Sabonis is trying to encourage guys, like, push the ball.
Yes.
The Kings were not playing with any type of pace. And then I thought the starting group was missing a ton of shots. Like Kevin Huerter got off to another dreadful start in this game. He ends up hitting some shots late, but he goes 6 of 16, 2 of 9 from 3. Then Monk, 3 of 15, 2 of 8 from 3. Those shooting numbers kill you. I thought the Stars were able to generate good looks, and they missed. So that's one thing. I thought the bench was awful tonight.
I agree.
And it was Monk. It was Davis. I don't know if it was what the Knicks were doing. I'm going to give the Knicks credit. They're playing much better defense right now over the last 4. But, like, you're playing into their hands if you're just playing so quick that you're taking the first shot. How many times do we see bad shots by Monk and Davis? No paint touches whatsoever.
Super frustrating to see, right? I mean, because everyone's trying to work their ass off on the defensive end, and then when that happens on the offensive end, it just is deflating as a team. It's not the right shot to take. Now, when Monk is going off in certain games and he's feeling red hot, and then you see him have that little heat check and he still misses it, you go, okay, I get it, but don't let it happen again. Play some team basketball. It was happening in these times of, okay, we just need to be the hero and we just need to get this first shot off. And usually that happens when guys are tired, fatigued legs or fatigued mind, but you're going into your third game of this road trip, and I just don't see how that was going to be the case in this one. I think if anything, it was just like the Knicks did a really good job of taking them out of their game, but then also having guys on the offensive end not stay disciplined and play all the way through. That was the other thing, that they were just like standing in their own ways.
Kings shot under 40%.
Yeah.
They were 10 of 39 from 3. They got to the free throw line and shot 35 free throws. They missed 12 of them. And who were the culprits? Barnes missed 3. He missed 3 last game. Sabonis, for I thought as good as he was tonight, you missed 5 free throws. It's just, those are momentum plays, right? Especially when you just need, you're struggling offensively. One thought process that coaches always say, people say, hey, just get to the line and get a shot to fall. Maybe it gets you going. That wasn't the case tonight. And it was one of those games that you're just like, they're not doing anything well right now.
Didn't Barnes even miss his free throw after Randall got ejected?
Yeah, he missed a technical.
Yeah. And those moments, right, where it's like this, even that could be a little bit of a swing play or a momentum builder as the Dogs battle behind us. More physicality going on behind us than there was in tonight's games from the Sacramento Kings defense and from their offense, honestly. Yeah, I think when you look at the free throws, but then you also look at the offense and the motion that wasn't there. But then defensively, I understand it was going to be hard battling for the boards tonight. The Knicks do a good job with their offensive rebounding.
Yeah, one of the best in the league at offensive rebounding.
They did too good of a job tonight. It's like it wasn't a point of emphasis for the Kings because they had to not only worry about Brunson in the way that he's able to get into the paint, but also then had to worry about Julius Randle early on. And it was like their mind was just everywhere. They couldn't execute one thing great.
Just some of these numbers you're looking at going, man. And then going back to the bench, when you don't get anything from your bench and you're already shorthanded, and then your starters are missing shots.
Tough.
I don't know what you're supposed to do. I mean, Monk ends up with 12 points in this game, but I mean, I don't think anyone's going to look at his game and say it was a good game. I thought he had some better moments later in the game where he started to attack.
Yes.
And that's what I think Monk has to make sure to have that balance. Look, Malik is one of those guys that he can be super frustrating at times, but when he gets hot, it's like, let's go, But the best version of Malik Monk is the guy that's being able to create for others, that's attacking the paint, and then also hitting his shots. When he's playing kind of at all the levels, it's great. I felt like tonight it was like this desperation of, hey, we're kind of struggling. I'm going to come in and give us a lift. Let me just launch a quick 3.
1 assist for Malik Monk tonight. And I think his playmaking ability it doesn't get talked about enough, but you see tonight it wasn't there. And it's been on a consistent level. Like he's been doing a great job with that. And usually his playmaking ability starts with the way that he attacks the paint. So if he's seeing the open guy, he's going to dish to the open guy. But if he doesn't, then he's going to get crafty and do what he needs to do to finish at the rack. You weren't seeing that. You were seeing a lot of settling from him. And with De'Aaron Fox out, they needed one other guy to step up, especially Sabonis still finished with, 20 points, 12 rebounds.
And 4 assists.
Yeah. And even for him, it was like you just didn't see this pure dominance like you've seen in some.
I thought there were stretches where he got Robinson the foul trouble, went right at Hartenstein.
And that's why I'm like not fully saying, you didn't see him play dominant tonight because it just wasn't fully consistent, but there was only so much he could do play after play, possession after possession. It was like, okay, who's going to help me out a little bit? And I would say the only other guy that really, 2 other guys. I would say Harrison Barnes had some nice, strong moves, but then really Keegan Murray hitting some of his outside shots again. He's just been solid the last couple games for the Kings.
I think Keegan has really put it together now.
Yeah.
And that's the most encouraging. I know his final numbers at the end, he took some shots to trying to, late the game, whatever. The game seemed out of reach at that point. But he finished with 18 points, 7 rebounds, 6 of 15 shooting. He was 3 of 8 from 3, and he was 3 of 4 from the free throw line. What do you think the issue is with the pace? And I think, is it just simply De'Aaron Fox isn't playing? Is it the Knicks defense? Why did the Kings struggle so much in that situation? Really, in some of the game against Cleveland, and then tonight.
It's not like the Knicks were stopping the ball right away every single possession, right? It's when you have a guy in De'Aaron Fox who has the confidence and the identity of, hey, I push the shit out of the ball no matter what, and this is how it's going to be. It's on a different level. And then Davion Mitchell comes in. It's not his identity, but also pushing the pace is just something with having the athletic ability to push the pace and to have the confidence to push the pace, right? And I think has the athletic ability and the speed, obviously not as fast as De'Aaron Fox, but I don't think he has the confidence to push it. I think sometimes he gets indecisive if he pushes it up too fast and he's not thinking, okay, where do I need to go next, right? When really you just got to make sure that you're examining the whole floor as you're pushing it up and already kind of know what you want to do before it's even there. Your guys should be running your lane so you have the outside guys, obviously beyond the arc or wherever that may be. Maybe your bigs running down the middle with you or even trailing behind. But either way, have confidence with what you're going to do when you push the ball. But yes, I would say that has been the biggest issue.
So you talk about the rebounding in this game too. 55-41 Knicks in this game. RJ Barrett had 27 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. I felt like he had too many straight line drives where he was able to get to the basket at ease.
Well, they tried angling and making him go right because that's his offhand, and it was like it still wasn't work. You were giving him too much of an open lane. He's an NBA player. He can still finish on the right side.
And then Randall had 27 at halftime, and he was getting it going. He ends up finishing with 27, 8 rebounds, 9 of 20 shooting, 3 of 11 from 3. But I think I had the halftime box here because I want to see what it was at halftime. At halftime, Randall was 9 of 16, 3 of 8 from 3 with 27 points. Second half, they did throw more doubles at him. But I just felt like they didn't execute that right either.
They didn't.
There was no communication. And then they were giving up lobs. Mitchell Robinson had a couple easy looks. They had one where Randall did a great job getting it to RJ Barrett, who lobbed it up to Robinson. And it felt like some of the defensive breakdowns that we've seen in previous years with the Kings were like, oh, you're throwing the double and then you're giving up something else? Like, this is not the defense that's on a string that we've seen over those last 15 games.
Consistently giving up something, right? Like not learning from your last mistake.
And I honestly thought they should have stopped doubling him because he was clearly out of a rhythm at that point. And, he's one of those guys that can get hot and go ice cold, but he's first team all confidence. So Randall's going to keep launching him. Yeah. And he was launching some really questionable shots. I'm like, back off of him. You're getting killed on the double team. He's out of rhythm now.
Yeah, I feel like the Kings, like their brains just weren't clicking at a high pace tonight, like with their decisions, even on the defensive end. And that's it. It's like, I'm not disappointed, but man, when Randall got ejected, I was like, this is the time to capitalize.
Wow, and that was huge because it's at the 3:35 mark of the third quarter, and it's 85-70.
15-point game at that point.
It's there for the taking. And Randall was so upset after some contact. He goes down. And he was begging for a technical. Yeah. So he got the technical. His teammates did zero favors. Like,
stop him.
He then goes to the next official and just gets tossed. And you're going, what are you doing? Someone's got to grab him, pull him away because he's too important to what they do.
That was shocking to me. I think that was shocking to everyone because it was like, even for him, you got what you wanted. You got teed up like you were asking for, but then you just kept going knowing you were going to get ejected after you were just out there having an incredible first half with your team. So then that happens, Deuce. But later on, I don't know what time and maybe if you have it or not, but when Jalen Brunson goes down with that ankle because Davion Mitchell goes up for the layup and just lands weird on Jalen Brunson's ankle. Even when that happened, I'm like, okay, still a lot of time left in this game. 2 of their best guys are out. And even when they were out, their defense still looked the exact same. They could never find a flow to it.
Yeah, just one of those ugly-ass games that you wish you could have because you get this one, you're feeling really good about the road trip, right? You're 2-1. You win one without Fox, another one without Fox. That would have been crucial. And this one's tough. At the same time, it's crazy. A week ago, I'm watching the Knicks play the Mavericks. They're killing the Mavs, and they get destroyed in the third quarter, giving up 41 points. I'm like, this Knicks team, what the hell? This is at home this happens?
Yeah.
And they end up losing big. But since that point, this Knicks team is playing some good basketball. Like, they are playing pretty good defense in this game. They were making life more challenging. I think the Kings definitely let them off the hook, no doubt about it. But you look at their last 4 games, they held Cleveland to 81 points. They held the Hawks to 89 points. The Hornets scored 102. And then tonight, the Kings score a season low for the first time this season under 100 points, 99. So, I mean, in today's game, holding a team around 100 points is incredible. The fact that the Knicks have held a couple of teams in the 80s over the last 4 games seems like they're starting to find a little something in this stretch at least.